Greetings, Ani, Bonjour, Kwe, Tanzi, Scano. Hi, it's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, Georgian Bay, and we're here with your weekly reading for March 30th to April 5th. So there's nothing astrologically significant, but it is the Easter week. So April 5th is Easter Sunday for those who celebrate. Anyway, I'm still with Ostara, the spring equinox. It's still not exactly springy out there, but I wanted to use that deck this week, and you'll see by the decks that are posted in the picture that accompanies every week's reading that it's a compilation of nature decks. So we have the tree tarot, we have a flower and dragon, so we've got the flowers represented, the trees represented, and the crows. The crows are loud and proud in our backyard. We have multi-generational families of crows that interact with us, and I love it when they're around. Noisy little buggers, but they are spiritually on the wheel in the Southwest. So their call to the shaman is important and reminds me to stand up and follow my calling. Sometimes that's difficult to follow your calling when someone comes along and gives you a gut punch, and my body is reacting today from a spiritual gut punch I had yesterday. But despite that, we haven't killed each other yet or anything, so Brian also suffered spiritually the same physiological awareness that what happens to us spiritually, emotionally, intellectually comes down and impacts the physical. It is a very physical reading. It's a physical time of year. It's the eruption of life out of semi-frozen, stinky ground full of funguses and molds and things which fight, and the weeds fight with the space. But despite that, and please ignore the sound in the background, it's something that has to go on, but I'm sure you can hear me just fine. Anyway, let's go to the cards, Brian. The deck this week, this is the Ostara Tarot, which you'll see in the picture, and then I have one each of every one of the decks that I brought forward for clarification. So we're starting here with the King of Cups. And I wish that noise wasn't so loud in the background. It's very distracting. The King of Cups is head bowed. He's got candles on his antlers. They, and I'm assuming the moon to some degree, are lighting his way. Thank you, that was very distracting. Because it interferes when there's noise in the background, even just Brian squeaking a chair or the dog rattling a chain. It interrupts the flow of communication. So the king is all about being in harmonious emotional balance and bringing that balance to the people around him, his community, his empire. But in this instance, he's also using his vessel here as a scrying unit. This is very much right now, this coming week, about being in a deeply spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and physically balanced place. And it's clarified here from the Ancestors deck by the Queen of Cups. So different decks, but the King has his Queen. So the Queen is more introspective, aligns first with the self. So then, it's the old put the airbag on your face first in the plane before you try to help anybody else. She is emotionally his yin to, she is his yin to his yang. So this is balance, and it says no matter what we experience this week, it's going to come with peace and insight and intuition if we give ourselves the space for that. The second card is very telling. It's the Four of Swords, and it is always about balance and stability coming from a place of deep physical rest. We've survived the issues and the trauma of the 3, and we've stepped into the 4, and 4 is again a sense that we can be at peace. The King is protecting that. The Queen is protecting that. And also, from a clarifying perspective, is the Humility card. And this is a gentleman with a crown. He is very much, when one reads the description of the intention of this card in this particular oracle, and it is an oracle card, this man is like the hermit. The foliage that is represented in the card is the banana, so it's banana leaf. Humility asks us to call on our deep inner strength to come at decisions and come at healing for ourselves and others. Come to our knowledge from a place of quiet but firm strength. Humility is the guide to that. And so when we are humble and deeply ensconced in that humility, we have the strength to garner and pull together whatever knowledge it is that we're seeking. And this is regal knowledge, it's spiritual knowledge, and it's knowledge that will impact others as well as self. It's interesting that the last card on this row is the Hermit. It's one of the most beautiful cards I've seen representing the Hermit. It's a black panther with shining eyes instead of a lantern. And the deep knowledge of the intuition and the deep withdrawal to find, because all these animals, these big cats, are loners. It's interesting that is represented here in this card. So it's at the beginning of the week, and it's a big reminder to remain in the place of deep introspective wisdom. And here we go with the Ace of Cups. I believe this is the Ace of Cups. Yes, it is. So this is about new emotional beginnings. So we're still highly with water. We do have a sword here for mental and air, but we're back with the cups here, and it's very much about a new emotional beginning at some level, clarified by the 10 of Pentacles, the legacy card, saying that this new emotional beginning is able to be had because we will find out that we have everything we need and enough to create a legacy to expand and help not only our family but our community. This is a karmic thing as well. It was meant to come to us in this life, so we will have the emotional joy of knowing that it's present to us. This is a collective reading, so this speaks to this abundance being for the majority of all of us out there. The next card is the Death card. So this is all leading to a distinct transformation. And this transformation is a new life kind of transformation. The Death card and the reaching becomes bird-like in its expression here. So it is truly about renewal. One of the ways that the clarifier of the Death card suggests that we find what we need for the renewal, for all this knowledge that we are pulling inside ourselves to find, is floromancy. And that's, it's time to escape all of the noise and become still with the guidance that's pulling you inward. So floromancy is about using the liminal knowledge of flowers, the meaning of flowers, and do floromancy. I think that's lovely. The next card here is the Two of Swords. Once again, it's finding peace after coming from a place of literally almost jousting for or being in conflict with something in the outside world, something or someone. The issue here is this little bird has a blindfold on in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, but it comes from turning its back to the emotional undercurrent. It is turning its back on other influences. The peace comes from within. When the swords are crossed, it means the peace is found. This is often in olden times indicated by two knights who have been perhaps squabbling or battling, crossing their swords in a indication of truce, a truce having been found. It's clarified the crows are bringing the world, so this is the end of the karmic cycle. This is a new emotional beginning, but the end of a karmic cycle where the world is ours. We have completed something. This completion is represented here in the 10. And there's stability just written all through the language of these cards. So the stability comes from knowing that we've finished a cycle and no rush, no rush. The next one will start when it starts. So in this, this card here is the Sun. I won't sing the song from Annie because you'll all unsubscribe. But the sun, beautiful light. The light, we've got the light from the moon indicated here in other places, but the light and the joy of being in this position is available to us. It's close to the end of the karmic cycle of the major arcana, so that's important. We have the Six of Cups, which is a little bit about looking at the past in a nostalgic way. Sometimes these are kind of rose-colored glasses we wear when we look at the past. It's important to see the past for what it is, and in Buddhist thinking it doesn't exist anymore. And that's important to remember, that we have to look with clarity on the choices that we've made in the past. And finally we come to this incredibly beautiful Hermit card. And the deep wisdom and knowledge that it's talking about getting is coming between the time of Cancer and ending in Gemini. I'm just grabbing my notebook for those dates. So Cancer starts on summer solstice, June 21st. And it goes to, not Gemini, I'm sorry, Virgo. And it runs until September 22nd. So it's the entire summer. It starts at the beginning of summer and ends with autumn equinox. So this is a pretty quick movement in terms of what it accomplishes, but it's asking us to slow right down and become introspective and humble, and knowing that we have everything we need, that we've finished a cycle and the new cycle will begin when it's ready to. But we are in a time of personal, deep, deep peace. You can flip the camera, Brian. What a very beautiful set of cards. I really appreciate the message. And I really don't have anything else to say about it. It speaks very loudly on its own. But I will say thank you to all who support us, and thank you for the mystery gift of a mulberry silk pillowcase for my wild hair. And we'll see you next week. We're going to use the same cards but in different placements, and off we go. All right, take care. Miigwech.